Law of assumption. They say in the law of assumption, assume you already have it. When we want something or really desire something, it slips away. So, how do you attain something you want? By assuming you have it already. And doesn't that mean you still want it unconsciously while you consciously assume you already have it? Me, for example, if I did a casting call for this modeling gig and I really want to get this gig, it can be good for my career. In me assuming I got the gig already, isn't that a masked version of me saying I want it? This is a great question, and I think it's a very common one when it comes to manifestation. So let's see what others have said. You answered the question. I would not call it a law or a rule myself. That implies a process of behavior you can control. Confident people have experience. They also believe that they are better than others. Like you say, they assume that they should get something. The flaw in the process is that connection between assuming and getting something is not 100%. It may happen less than that. We do not include failures in the calculation. I know successful people, they are not better than others all the time. Sometimes they get a lucky break. Different perspective is not to want it at all. Things just happen because of other things. You practice sports, one day someone sees that and puts you on the team. It happened because you trained, you were ready for the opportunity. This is a very practical approach to the law of assumption, and I really liked how they explained it. Let's see another comment. Personally I'd say it has more to do with your subconscious. It's the part of the mind that is ultimately the catalyst for feelings, behavior, and in terms of manifestation, the initiation to receiving our wants. Consciously, we established what we want and trust the belief down to our subconscious, where it becomes naturally ours because we've relieved ourselves of being attached to the desire, because we no longer want to have something that's now already ours. Assumption. But once it enters the subconscious, it indicates that our feelings and behaviors will reflect us already having it. You become the person by nature that already has it. Now, this is the key here. When you come from a feeling of lack, that I want this job, I want this job, I want this job, you are living in a feeling of lack. And that is natural for us to do, because that's how we grow up, and that is how we are being trained in the society, unfortunately. But it takes a certain practice and habit making in order to change that kind of thinking and those feelings from naturally occurring when you want something. But with practice, you can do it. So in manifestation, I usually teach other people to use the law of assumption, but also to use it in a very nuanced way. So yes, when you are assuming that whatever you want, you already have it, you are coming from a place of wanting it. That is why you are practicing the law of assumption. But also, if you are able to completely shift your whole being into the person that already has it, then you erase that part. So the person that already has the job is not frantically applying to 100 applications a week without putting a single thought into it. So you are still applying for the jobs, but you are doing it from the energy of already having it. By doing that, you are placing your nervous system in a very stabilized state, and you are sitting down calmly, looking at each job posting and looking at the company details, looking at the position details, and refining your resume, writing a beautiful cover letter. You are doing all that from a position of power instead of doing that from a position of desperation. So when you put that kind of energy into the whole process, the outcomes are going to be different. And I'm doing this right now in my own life. I'm already living as if I already have the kind of work I want, and I'm doing every step that will lead to that work coming to me with a very stable energy. And yes, there are times when I do feel like nothing is working out and I'm being desperate, but always go back to this, always go back to your law of assumption that no, take a moment, step back, move your body, do a little meditation, come back to the same state and assume that you already have it. And yes, you do already have it, because if you understand time is not linear. There is no past, present and future. everything is happening at the same time. So basically, the version of you that has the job that you want is already there somewhere. So you just have to step into their shoes and do all the things that they did in order to get that job that they already have, and also have the mindset and the energy of that person, right? So this is how the law of assumption works. Let's read on. There are a few components: detaching from what you want, releasing lack, and just believing it's yours. Once it's entered subconsciously, this is the key, you will become the person aligned with it. If it's not here, there's still work to do to align with it, and this work will happen at its pace. Divine timing, yes. So there is a second component of law of assumption or manifestation, which is divine timing. This is something many of us fail to understand, that there is always going to be a fixed component, a component that we can't control, and it's in the hands of the universe and nature to do its work at the right time, and our human brain cannot comprehend that. So there has to be an element of surrender as well while you do the work. Now let's look at another comment. Sometimes we want the wrong things for the wrong reasons. There is an author named Florence Scovel Shinn. Among other books she wrote, The Game of Life and How to Play It. You can find a lot of affirmations by her on YouTube. She is from something that was founded in the 20s called the School of New Thought, similar to The Secret and Creative Visualization, but much more spiritual. I use this affirmation when I want something. Everything I own by divine right. Therefore, I can lose nothing. So everything that is coming to you, that has come to you in the past and that will come to you in the supposed future, is coming to you by divine right. So if the divine will is not there, by that we mean it's not something restrictive, but it is made so that the balance of nature doesn't get disturbed. So nature inherently has that balance, and it is going to be at play when you manifest something. So when you chant this affirmation, everything I own by divine right, then you give this greater part of control to the universe as well to do its thing. And there is nothing more intelligent than the universe itself. If it is in the divine plan that I should have this thing that I want, then I want it. If it's not in the universe's divine plan for me to have it, I thank it, I release it, I let it go. So again, this is a very good affirmation. Actually, I should write it down, because by doing this, you are letting go of manifestations that might be coming from just your ego. Your ego might be clouded with so much conditioning all those years, and from past lives, from trauma, etc., etc. And because of that, our ego might make us want things that are not really good for us. And that has happened with me as well in the past. I've taken up jobs that I thought were good for me, but obviously they were not. And I later realized that it was my ego that wanted that job, and I even manifested it. So the universe will sometimes give you the manifestations that you are so hard working for, but they might not be the ones for you. And you end up only after experiencing those manifestations, you end up realizing that, oh my god, they weren't meant for me. So, it's okay, I let it go. And you don't want to waste that amount of time, even though it's a learning experience. We want to have the manifestations that are actually meant for us, that are actually good for us. So I think this affirmation is really good in order to release everything that's not meant for us. So let's move on. Please replace it with something of equal or more charming value. This way you know that you are striving towards the right thing, and you have cleared it with the universe. Since your relationship with the universe is only between you and the universe, or you and God. So basically this is like a prayer, and you are clearing it with the universe, that anything that's not meant for you shouldn't enter your mind as a want, right? Ask for signs to let you know that you're on the right path concerning your desires. I also recommend talking to your guardian angels and asking them to intercede with God to keep you on the right path. This is great because I do that all the time, especially when I use tarot. It's a really good tool to help you talk to your guardian angels, spirit guides, and ask for what the next step is and how your mindset should be, etc. Ask for signs, a feather, seeing a certain number. Now my husband always has this tie with God that he wants to see the number 786 wherever he goes. Whenever he wants to ask for a sign that he's in the right path, he wants to see the number 786, and he sees that number in wildest of places. You won't ever expect 786 to be there, and it would be there because he asked for it. And just like that, for me, it's certain numbers repeating, like 111 or 444 or 555. So when I see those numbers repeating themselves a lot within a day, if I see like 5 instances where I see the number 555, then it means that it's trying to communicate something to me. A butterfly, whatever you choose. And also, one of my manifestations was seeing a hummingbird as a confirmation of something, and that is why I have a hummingbird tattoo on my back, because it was a confirmation of something very big, and it has come in my life time and again. I have seen hummingbird in weirdest of places where they shouldn't have been, and that is a great sign. Remember that what you push out, you get back. If you push out negativity, that's what you will get back. Again, a big part of manifestation is also embodying the essence of that person who you want to be, who has all that you desire. So if you desire to have a great spiritual community and serve other people and society, but right now your actions are the opposite, you are being rude to other people, or you are harming other people in some way, then your actions are not in alignment with that. Or even if you're thinking extremely negatively, then your actions are not in alignment with that. Try to speak and think kindly and positively of everyone and everything in your life. Again, you can have enemies and you can still have neutral or a positive outlook on them. It is natural to hate your enemies, it's natural to have anger, and it's your right to feel anger. It's something bad has really happened to you, but it's your duty to process those emotions and get yourself to a level where you either are neutral or positive about that, and that will help boost your manifestations multifold. And sometimes that is the only thread that's missing. For instance, when you talk to someone might annoy you a little, but you still like or love them, never mind being nice to them on the phone and then hanging up and rolling your eyes. Leave the rolling your eyes part out again. If somebody is annoying you, that's okay. They are an annoying person. Either don't have them in your life, or if you have to have them in your life, then deal with them positively, and see them for the person who they really are. See their spirit. Leave the rolling your eyes part out, because here you are being very, very judgmental. Everything and every feeling that we have has a ripple effect. So you might be positive with the person you find a little trying, but if you let your negative emotions, opinions of them spill out after you talk to them, you are still exposing yourself to that negativity, right? Don't do that. Be sincere and kind, be accepting, and recognize everything is a perspective. We cannot expect people to treat us the way we would treat them. They are not us. Tune into your instincts, etc., etc. Alright, so that was the law of assumption. Very good insights here from all the commentators and the OP. So let me know if you enjoyed this video in the comments, and I'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye. Thank you.